Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and if you're new here, this is my 150-gallon Hillstream aquarium. I built this as the very first tank build on my channel 4 years ago, but recently I've been renovating the fish room, so had to tear it all down and reset it back up. Now, over the years, it's gone through a lot of changes in the plants as well as the fish in this aquarium, so I thought today we would just take a look at this aquarium and see why it remains to this day one of my absolute favorite aquariums that I've ever owned, and why I'm so excited to continue this project even after 4 years. So the goal of this aquarium was to create a high flow aquarium with low tech plants. I utilized a ton of manzanita driftwood, some local native slate, and river stones in order to create these little micro environments for the various inhabitants that I chose for this aquarium. All of the fish in this aquarium, for the most part, come from areas where there's extremely high flow. And when that happens, you'll find jumbles of rocks and wood and plants all trapped together. And in between those pieces of decor, you'll find quiet spots, and that's generally where the fish breed. So the goal for this aquarium was to build a whole bunch of little habitats in order to see the most natural behavior possible from the species selected for this aquarium. Now, I still have a lot of work to do. I need to source quite a lot of some plants, but we're going through some of the normal new tank syndrome stuff. There was quite a lot of fungus on the driftwood, which is resolving. It's been great for the grazers, but I still have to supplement the diet with things like cyclops or baby brine, as well as some rapashi soylent green for my off-walks grazers. Now, if you don't know, off-walks is sort of the algae biofilm and fungus that grows on the surfaces of wood and decor, in which microcrustaceans get trapped, and then fish who are grazers will eat on that surface, and that's how they get their nutrition. Now, historically speaking, a lot of the grazers are pretty hard to supplement, so it's really important to have a nice mature tank, and it's really important to utilize proper dietary supplements for them. This tank also has quite a lot of just micro predators like these spiny loaches that are very, very easy to feed. But probably my favorite thing about this entire aquarium is that everywhere I look, there's a different level of activity, a different species, and everybody just gets along really, really well. Now you can see there's a bit of algae on some of the plants as I am figuring out how to light this aquarium in its new location. I don't have permanent lights for it yet. Right now it's utilizing two 4-foot LED shop lights, which seem to be insufficient, and I'm not super stoked with the color spectrum as everything looks way more yellow than it does in reality. So that's something we're going to work on together in the upcoming weeks, is finalizing the lighting and getting that light cycle balanced so that the plants will grow, the off-walks will grow. I'll have algae on a lot of the surfaces of the hardscape, but the plants will remain healthy. This tank did go through a significant crypt melt when I moved everything, probably because my crypts sat in buckets for 2 or 3 days as I moved this aquarium and restaged the hardscape. But they are coming back, and I'm really pleased with the progress it's made so far. One thing I would like to do is add more colors to this aquarium in the plants. Right now it's very, very green, and I would love to get my hands on some large mats of nursery grown Bucephalandra brownie. So if you guys know anyone that sells that or that is growing the crap out of it, let me know down in the comments, as well as if you have any suggestions for low tech plants that have a more interesting texture or a less neutral green color. I would like to add more stuff in here. Now, as you can see, this tank does utilize an inert substrate, which is important because most of the fish in this aquarium come from extremely dilute waters, being from head streams of rivers or smaller waterways. So I didn't want to utilize an active substrate. So the vast majority of these plants are epiphytes, meaning they grow out of the soil. They grow up in between rocks or in between branches and don't really utilize their roots for gaining the vast majority of their nutrition. This aquarium has narrow-leaf java fern, it has bulbitis or African water fern, it has a ton of cryptocurines, it has some crypt balancea, a bunch of smaller crypts, and just a wide range of plants that are tried and true classics for me. But I do want to experiment, as I always do, so I would love to hear from you guys on any suggestions that you might have. I also plan to continue stocking this aquarium. Now, in order to add fish to this aquarium, because many of the species in here are very uncommon, very expensive, and very difficult to source, I do a 6-month quarantine period before adding fish. So it's gonna be a while before we see anything actually put into this aquarium, but I do plan on bringing in a bunch of fish in the near future in order to start that quarantine process, and I'll certainly share that with you guys. So if you like content like this, if you'd like to see the species that I choose in the quarantine process, or just the evolution of any of my projects, please make sure you're subscribed with that notification bell on. And also share it with your friends, give it a like, and leave me a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and it helps more than you know. And now we're just going to finish watching this aquarium. It truly is so engaging because everywhere you look, something is going on. And I just am so excited to continue to work on this. In its new placement now, I can finally get good video footage for you guys because I don't have to film right on top of the tank, so you can get a much better idea of the flow, the scope of this aquarium, the scope of its inhabitants, and the activity that just abounds through every nook and cranny of this 150-gallon aquarium. And I really encourage you guys, if you're interested in working with a large aquarium like this, that you do consider fish that aren't necessarily large, because you can add more of each type and just get such a cool range of behaviors. Now, I've seen a lot of active spawning in this aquarium as well, so I'm hoping we'll start seeing some more fry pop up. But we'll have to stay tuned together for that one. As always, thank you so much for your continued support, and stay tuned for more projects in the fish room and around the yard.